I realized she was cheating when she started treating me better than ever. I didn't confront her, I became the perfect boyfriend until she confessed. Then I walked away without looking back. I noticed it on a Tuesday night, the kind of night that used to feel normal to us, quiet and safe. Emily leaned against the kitchen counter and smiled at me like she was seeing me for the first time. "You look really good today," she said. I laughed softly. "I look the same. I'm wearing the same hoodie I've had for years." "That's what I like," she said quickly. "You're consistent." Consistent. The word sat in my chest longer than it should have. She walked over and wrapped her arms around me from behind, resting her chin on my shoulder. "Did I ever tell you how much I appreciate you?" she asked. "You tell me all the time," I said. She tightened her hug. "Not enough. For years together, and suddenly I was being praised like a new boyfriend." I told myself not to be dramatic. People go through phases. Love softens. That's what I believed. At dinner she kept talking, filling every silence. "So after work, I went to the grocery store," she said. "Then Lauren called, so I sat in the car for a bit. After that I came straight home. I didn't stop anywhere else." I looked up from my plate. "Okay. I just wanted you to know," she added. "In case you were wondering. I wasn't. At least, I hadn't been before." She explained it like a confession. "That's cool," I said. "How was work?" She hesitated. "Busy. Same stuff." She reached for her phone, checked the screen, and flipped it face down. I felt something shift, small but sharp. Later, we sat on the couch. She rested her head on my chest and traced circles on my arm. "You're really patient with me," she said. "I've always been patient," I replied. "I know," she said softly. "That's why you're different." Different from who? The question stayed in my head, unspoken. I stared at the wall and remembered when she used to be quiet like this without filling the air with reassurance. "Hey," she said, lifting her head. "Did I do something wrong?" "No," I said quickly. "Why?" "You just feel far away." I almost laughed. "I'm right here." She smiled, relieved, like she had passed a test. She kissed my cheek and went to shower. I stayed on the couch, listening to the water run, telling myself I was imagining things. When she came back, she sat close again. "I was thinking," she said, "we should plan something special soon. Just us." "We always do stuff," I said. "I know, but still," she replied. "I don't want you to ever feel taken for granted." Taken for granted. Another strange gift wrapped in kindness. I nodded. "That sounds nice." She squeezed my hand. "I'm lucky to have you." I wanted to believe her. I really did. My chest felt warm and tight at the same time, like happiness mixed with fear. That night in bed, she turned toward me instead of away. "Good night," she whispered. "I love you." "I love you too," I said, staring at the ceiling after she fell asleep. The next few days were the same. Compliments. Long looks. Messages checking in. "You eat yet? Did you get home safe? Just thinking about you." I showed Jake one of the texts. "She's being sweet," he said. "Why do you look worried?" "I don't know," I admitted. "It feels like she's trying too hard." "Or maybe she's just realizing what she has," he said. "Maybe," I said, though my stomach didn't agree. On Friday, she came home late. She smiled as soon as she saw me. "I'm sorry," she said. "Work ran long." "No problem," I replied. She stepped forward and kissed me deeply, like she was apologizing with her mouth. "I missed you," she said. "Missed you too," I answered. She pulled her phone from her pocket to check the time, then held it close to her chest when it buzzed. "Everything okay?" I asked. "Yeah," she said too fast. "Just a notification." She typed something quickly, her thumbs moving like they knew exactly where to go. Then she locked the screen and held the phone in both hands, gripping it tight, like it carried something fragile, something that could break us if she let go. I watched her fingers tense, knuckles pale, and I understood, without proof or drama, that whatever lived inside that phone was already louder than my trust, and heavier than the silence between us that night alone. We didn't fall in love fast. That's what I used to tell myself when things felt steady, almost boring in a good way. I met Emily when I was 20, and our first date lasted 4 hours longer than planned. I should probably go, she said, smiling but not moving. You don't have to, I said. Good, she replied. Because I don't want to. We laughed about that for years. It became one of our jokes. Whenever one of us didn't want something to end, we'd say it again. On our anniversary last year, I brought it up while we were eating takeout on the floor. Remember when you said you didn't want to go? I asked. She smiled. I remember thinking you were safe. Safe? I teased. That's not very romantic. I meant steady, she said. You felt like someone I could build with. I held on to that sentence longer than I should have. Our life wasn't dramatic. We had routines. Sunday mornings meant coffee and silence. Tuesday nights meant whatever show we were watching together. You're folding the towels wrong, she'd say. There's no wrong way, I'd argue. There is, she insisted, laughing as she fixed them. We talked about the future like it was a place we were already standing in. When we have our own place, she said once, I want a big window in the kitchen. So you can judge the neighbors? I asked. So I can see you come home, she said. Moments like that made suspicion feel like betrayal on my part. Whenever doubt crept in, I pushed it away. People grow. Relationships evolve. Don't ruin something good. That became my quiet rule. One night, as we brushed our teeth side by side, she said, Ryan said something funny at work today. I spat toothpaste into the sink. Who? My coworker, she replied. I've mentioned him before. Have you? I asked casually. Yeah, she said. He's on my team. Sounds nice, I said. It is, she replied. He's easy to talk to. The sentence landed softly, but it stayed. A few days later, she said it again while we were driving. Ryan thinks that restaurant downtown is overrated, she said. Is that so? I asked. Yeah, she laughed. He's very opinionated. I nodded, eyes on the road. You seem to talk about him a lot. She shrugged. I talk about everyone. That was true. Emily was social. Friendly. I reminded myself not to be insecure. Later that week, I asked, do you want to come with me to Jake's place this weekend? She hesitated. I might be tired. Work's been a lot. Because of Ryan? I asked before I could stop myself. She glanced at me. Why do you keep saying his name like that? Like what? Like he matters. He doesn't, I said quickly. I was just asking. She relaxed. He's just a coworker. Just. That word again. Small. Harmless. I accepted it because I wanted to. That night, she curled up next to me. You're being weird lately, she said. How? I asked. Quiet, she replied. Distant. I'm fine, I said. I just don't want to overthink things. She smiled and kissed my chest. I love that about you. You don't create problems where there aren't any. I held her and felt proud of my restraint. Mature. Understanding. Weeks earlier, we had talked about moving in together next year. We're good, right? She asked then. We're solid, I said. 4 years doesn't just disappear, she said. We've built too much. I believed her because I wanted to. Because love felt safer than doubt. Even when she laughed at her phone more than she used to. Even when she said Ryan's name like it belonged in our space. I told myself I was imagining cracks that weren't real. People grow. Relationships evolve. Don't ruin something good. I repeated it like a promise, not realizing I was already using it to protect something that had quietly begun slipping away from me. I didn't ask her anything that night. I didn't raise my voice or search her face for cracks. I sat across from Emily at the table and let her talk. So after work, she said, we had this long meeting that should have been an email. Then I grabbed coffee because I was exhausted. I stayed there longer than I meant to because Lauren called, and you know how she is. I nodded. Yeah. And traffic was awful, she added quickly. Like, really awful. I almost took the longer route, but I didn't. That sounds annoying, I said. She kept going, explaining every minute like it mattered. I just don't want you thinking I disappear, she said. I wasn't thinking that, I replied. She smiled, relieved, and continued eating. I stayed quiet, noticing how detailed her stories had become, how every gap was filled before I could question it. The next day she texted me updates without being asked. Lunch ran late. Still at work. Heading home now. I stared at my phone and typed, okay, then put it down. I wasn't angry. I felt alert, like something inside me had woken up. That evening, she talked again. Ryan said the funniest thing today, she said, laughing before she finished the sentence. What did he say? I asked calmly. She paused. Why? Just curious, I said. She told the story, adding small details, checking my face as she spoke. I didn't interrupt. I didn't react. You're very quiet, she said. I'm listening, I replied. She leaned closer. You're not mad, right? No, I said. Why would I be? She relaxed again. I watched the pattern form. Explanation before accusation. Comfort before suspicion. I met Jake for coffee 2 days later. She's acting strange, I said. Strange how? He asked. Too open, I said. Too careful. He frowned. Have you asked her? No. Why not? He said. You've been together 4 years. Talk to her. If I'm wrong, I lose her, I said. If I'm right, I need to know. Jake leaned back. You're hurting yourself by waiting. Maybe, I said. But I can't unknow the truth once I hear it. So you'd rather suffer quietly? He asked. I'd rather be sure, I replied. That night, Emily sat next to me on the couch, close enough that our legs touched. You okay? She asked. I'm fine, I said. You've been distant, she said. I don't feel distant, I replied. She studied me. You don't talk as much. I'm tired, I said. She nodded, then started talking again, filling the space I wouldn't. At work today, I finished that report early, and Ryan helped me double-check it. He's really helpful. That's good, I said. And he listens, she added. Like, actually listens. I swallowed. I listen. I know, she said quickly. I didn't mean it like that. I smiled faintly. It's okay. She reached for my hand. I let her hold it, feeling the warmth, the familiarity, and something colder beneath it. Later, she went to shower, leaving her phone on the table. It buzzed once. I didn't look. I stared at the wall and waited for the sound to stop. When she came back, she picked it up immediately. Everything okay? I asked. Yeah, she said. Just work stuff. I nodded. I didn't push. In bed, she turned toward me. You're very calm lately, she said. I'm just paying attention, I replied. She laughed softly. To what? To us, I said. She kissed my shoulder. I love you. I know, I said, meaning I knew more than she thought. When she fell asleep, I stared at the ceiling, replaying her words, her timing, her tone. I didn't cry. I didn't accuse. I didn't search for proof. I chose silence. I chose patience. If the truth was there, I wanted it to show itself without me forcing it. I didn't plan to look. That's the part people don't believe, but it's the truth. I just needed to print a document for work, and Emily's laptop was already on the desk. Use mine, she said from the bedroom. It's already charged. Thanks, I replied. The screen lit up as soon as I opened it. No password. No lock screen. Just a message window, open like it had been waiting. I froze. My finger hovered over the trackpad. I could have closed it. I could have walked away. I told myself that. Instead, I read the last line. I miss the way you look at me. My chest didn't tighten. My heart didn't race. Everything inside me went quiet. I scrolled once. Just once. You make boring days feel lighter. I'd heard that sentence before. She said it to me when we first started dating. I remembered the exact night, the exact smile. I swallowed and kept reading, careful, like I was handling something fragile. I feel safe talking to you. Another recycled promise. Another borrowed feeling. I didn't scroll far. I didn't need to. Every line felt familiar in the worst way. A joke about coffee that she used on me. A complaint about work that sounded too personal. A message sent late at night. I wish you were here instead. That was the one that landed. I leaned back in the chair and stared at the ceiling. I didn't cry. I didn't shake. I felt replaced, like I'd been quietly swapped out while still standing in the room. You okay? Emily called from the bedroom. Yeah, I said. My voice sounded normal. That scared me more than anything. I looked back at the screen, scanning just enough to understand the shape of it. This wasn't flirting that got out of hand. This was emotional. Intentional. Built over time. You deserve someone who listens, one message said. I closed my eyes. I listened every day. Another message followed. I hate that I think about you when I'm with him. There it was. The line she'd crossed and pretended didn't exist. I moved the cursor away and shut the laptop gently, like I was tucking something away. No slamming. No shaking hands. Just quiet. I picked up my paper and stood there for a second, breathing evenly. I wasn't angry. I wasn't shocked anymore. I felt confirmed. She came out of the bedroom, towel on her head. Did it work? She asked. Yeah, I said. All good. She smiled. See? My laptop always saves the day. I forced a smile back. It does. She stepped closer and kissed my cheek. You're very calm lately, she said. I'm just tired, I replied. She studied my face, searching for something. I gave her nothing. At dinner, she talked about her day in detail again. So Ryan helped me with this thing, but it wasn't a big deal, she said quickly. I just wanted to tell you in case it came up. In case what came up? I asked. In case I mentioned him, she said, laughing too fast. That's fine, I said. She relaxed immediately and kept talking. I listened, hearing every word through a new filter. Every sentence felt rehearsed now. Later, she leaned into me on the couch. You're being so understanding, she said. I really appreciate that. I'm here, I replied. She nodded, satisfied, and rested her head on my shoulder. I stared ahead, replaying the words I'd read. I miss the way you look at me. I realized then how easy it had been for her to give him pieces of me without noticing. My phrases. My care. My role. When she went to bed early, I stayed on the couch, staring at the dark screen of her laptop. It looked innocent now. Closed. Quiet. I walked over, picked it up, and placed it exactly where I found it. Same angle. Same position. I didn't want traces. I didn't want drama. I wanted clarity. That night, lying next to her, I listened to her breathing slow. You love me, right? She asked suddenly, eyes still closed. Yes, I said. She smiled and fell asleep again. I stared at the wall, feeling something settle inside me. Not rage. Not heartbreak. Something steadier. I wasn't crazy. I hadn't imagined the distance or the kindness or the guilt disguised as affection. I was faithful to someone who wasn't. And now that I knew, I understood something else too. Whatever happened next would be my choice, not hers. I didn't change overnight. It wasn't dramatic. It was quiet, deliberate, almost boring in how careful it was. The morning after I closed her laptop, I made breakfast before she woke up. "You're up early," Emily said, rubbing her eyes. "I couldn't sleep," I replied. "Sit." "I made eggs." She smiled, surprised. "You didn't have to." "I wanted to," I said. She ate slowly, watching me like she was studying something familiar that suddenly felt new. "These are good," she said. "Same recipe as always," I replied. "Still," she said. "Thank you." I cleaned the dishes without being asked. I didn't rush. I didn't sigh. I moved like someone with nothing to prove. That night, I cooked dinner again. "You're spoiling me," she said, leaning against the counter. "I like taking care of you," I replied. She looked at me longer than usual. "You're different lately." "How?" I asked. "Calmer," she said. "More present." I nodded. "I'm just listening." And I did. When she talked, I didn't interrupt. I didn't correct. I didn't drift away. I held eye contact and let her words land. "I feel confused sometimes," she said one evening, sitting cross-legged on the couch. "About what?" I asked. "About everything," she replied. "Work. Life. Us." "That's okay," I said. "You don't have to have it all figured out." She exhaled like she'd been holding her breath for weeks. "You're very patient with me," she said. "I'm here," I replied. She started sharing more. Not less. More details. More honesty, or what looked like it. "Ryan thinks I overthink things," she said casually. "What do you think?" I asked. "I think he might be right," she said, laughing softly. "Maybe," I replied. "But thinking isn't a flaw." She smiled at that. She reached for my hand without hesitation now. I supported her without questions. When she said, "I'm late again," I said, "Drive safe." When she said, "I'm tired," I said, "I'll make tea." When she said, "I don't know what I want," I said, "You don't have to decide right now." Each response made her relax more. I could see it. The tension in her shoulders eased. Her phone stayed face up more often. She stopped flinching when it buzzed. "You're being so understanding," she said one night, resting her head on my chest. "I trust you," I replied, and meant something different than she heard. She started staying home more. Talking more. Laughing like she used to. "You remember everything," she said once. "The little things." "I always have," I replied. She kissed me, slow and familiar. "You make me feel safe," she whispered. I closed my eyes and let the word pass through me. Safe. The same word she once used to describe me, then gave away so easily. Inside, I stayed disciplined. I didn't confront. I didn't test her. I didn't hint. I wasn't performing. I was giving my best so I'd never wonder what if. One evening, she sat beside me and said, "I don't feel like hiding things anymore." "Hiding what?" I asked gently. She shrugged. "Just feelings. Thoughts." "You don't have to hide with me," I said. She nodded, emotional. "I know." That night, she left her phone on the table when she went to shower. It buzzed twice. She didn't rush back for it. I noticed. I said nothing. Later, she said, "Ryan asked why I seem happier lately." "What did you say?" I asked. "I told him it's because I'm with someone who really shows up for me," she replied. I smiled. "I'm glad." She studied my face. You're not jealous? No, I said. I don't feel threatened. She leaned in and kissed me, slower than usual. You're everything I need, she said. I held her, steady, grounded, aware. I wasn't angry. I wasn't cruel. I wasn't plotting. I was certain. Each day I stayed kind, patient, dependable. I felt something solid form inside me. Not hope. Not denial. Resolution. If she chose me, it would be with full awareness of what she almost lost. If she didn't, I would leave knowing I gave everything without becoming small. That was the discipline. That was the resolve. And quietly, without realizing it, she was falling into comfort, while I was preparing to walk away whole. She asked me to sit down like it was something serious, like I didn't already know. Her hands were shaking when she folded them in her lap. She couldn't look at me at first. There's something I need to tell you, Emily said. Okay, I replied. She inhaled sharply. I don't know how to start. You can take your time, I said. She laughed once, broken. That's the problem. You always give me time. Her eyes filled before the words came out. I messed up, she said. I really messed up. I stayed quiet. I didn't plan it, she continued quickly. I swear I didn't. It just happened slowly. I nodded once. I started talking to someone at work, she said. Ryan. You know that? Yes, I said. It wasn't physical, she said fast. Not at first. It was just talking. Venting. Feeling understood. I kept my hands on my knees. I didn't move. I felt guilty every day, she said, tears falling now. I hated myself for it. I listened. I didn't mean to replace you, she said. I never stopped loving you. She looked up then, searching my face. Say something, she whispered. I didn't. She wiped her cheeks with the back of her hand and kept going. I was confused, she said. About myself. About us. I didn't know how to tell you without hurting you. She laughed again, bitter. And I ended up hurting you anyway. She leaned forward, elbows on her knees. I felt so safe with you, she said. And then I felt trapped by my own guilt. I swallowed but stayed silent. I tried to stop, she said. I really did. I told myself I would. She looked at me again. But every time you were kind, it made it worse. I let that land. I know I don't deserve forgiveness, she said. But I want to try. I want to do the work. She reached for my hand, then pulled back like she wasn't sure she was allowed. I'll cut him off, she said. I already have. I'll be honest about everything. I'll go to therapy if you want. Her voice cracked. Please don't give up on us. I waited until she finished. I waited until there was nothing left for her to say. Then I spoke. I've known for almost a month, I said. The words were calm. Flat. Certain. Her mouth fell open. You, what? She asked. I saw the messages, I said. On your laptop. Her face drained of color. When? She whispered. A while ago, I replied. She stood up suddenly, backing away like I was someone else. Why didn't you say anything? She asked. Why did you act like everything was okay? I needed to be sure, I said. Sure of what? She cried. That it wasn't a mistake, I replied. That this wasn't something we could fix by talking sooner. She covered her mouth and shook her head. Oh my God, she said. I thought you were choosing me. I was, I said. Fully. She sank back onto the couch, sobbing now. I ruined everything, she said. I ruined us. I watched her break without stepping in. You should hate me, she said. Why aren't you yelling? Because I'm not confused, I replied. She looked up, terrified. What does that mean? She asked. It means I listened, I said. I watched. I gave everything I had. She grabbed her hair, rocking slightly. I can fix this, she said. I swear I can. I shook my head slowly. She froze. So that's it? She asked. After 4 years? I didn't answer. She cried harder, the sound raw and unguarded. I never meant to lose you, she said. I know, I replied. The room went quiet after that. No more pleading. No more explanations. Just the sound of her breathing and mine, uneven and final. We sat there in silence, the kind that doesn't ask for words, the kind that settles like dust after something breaks and can't be put back together again. I didn't raise my voice when I stood up. I didn't rush. I looked at Emily and waited for her breathing to slow, even though mine already had. You don't hate me, she said quietly. I can tell. No, I replied. I don't. She wiped her face. Then why does it feel like you already left? Because I did, I said. She shook her head. That's not fair. You didn't even give me a chance. I gave you time, I replied. I gave you honesty. I gave you my best. She stood and grabbed my arm. We can fix this. I swear. I'll do anything. I gently pulled my arm free. I know. Her voice cracked. Then why aren't you trying? Because I already did, I said. She stared at me like she didn't recognize me. I stayed quiet because I needed clarity, I continued. I needed to know if this was confusion or choice. She whispered, it was confusion. I know, I said. And it still wasn't enough. She stepped closer. You don't just stop loving someone. I didn't stop suddenly, I replied. I watched it happen. Her eyes filled again. When? Every time you explained too much, I said. Every time you looked at your phone before you looked at me. She covered her mouth. Why didn't you stop me? Because I wasn't sure yet, I said. I wanted to be absolutely sure this wasn't a mistake before I stopped loving you. The words hung between us, heavy and final. She collapsed onto the couch. So you decided alone. I decided honestly, I replied. She shook her head over and over. You're supposed to fight. I fought by staying kind, I said. By staying present. By not becoming cruel. She looked up at me. And that was just a test. No, I said. That was me being who I am. Her voice dropped to a whisper. And I still failed. Yes, I said. She started crying again, quieter this time. I'll cut him off forever, she said. I'll change jobs. I'll tell everyone. I don't want promises, I replied. I wanted loyalty. She reached for my hand again, desperate now. Please don't walk away. I stood and went to the bedroom. She followed me, panicked. What are you doing? Packing, I said. I opened the drawer and started folding clothes. I moved slowly. Intentionally. You can't just leave, she said. This is our home. It was, I replied. She grabbed a shirt from my hands. Look at me. I did. I love you, she said. I still choose you. I know, I said. And that's what makes this hurt. She fell to her knees beside the bed. I'll never forgive myself, she said. That's yours to carry, I replied. I zipped the bag and lifted it. So that's it, she said. No goodbye? This is the goodbye, I said. She stood and blocked the doorway. Say something. Anything. I met her eyes one last time. I hope you learn from this, I said. I already did. She stepped aside, shaking. I walked past her, through the living room, to the door. Behind me, she whispered my name. I didn't turn around. I closed the door quietly, the sound soft but final, and felt something strange and steady settle in my chest as I stepped away, knowing I hadn't lost myself trying to save someone who chose differently. I woke up to silence that felt heavier than shouting ever did. My phone sat face down on the table. I turned it over, unlocked it, and blocked Emily's number. Then I blocked her email. Then every social app. It wasn't anger. It was maintenance. Jake called that night. "You alive?" he asked. "Barely," I said. "Good. Come over." "I don't want company." "You don't get to decide that today." I went anyway. "You look calm," Jake said when I sat down. "I feel empty." "That's calm's cousin. Does it pass?" "It changes shape," he said. "You eating?" "I forget." "Then I'll remind you." I nodded. The apartment was quiet when I got back. Too quiet. I said her name out loud once, just to hear how it sounded without her. It echoed and disappeared. My mother called the next morning. "You sleeping?" she asked. "Enough. You sound different." "I am." "Different how?" "Lighter. And sad." She paused. "Both can be true. I keep thinking I should miss her more." "Do you miss her?" my mother asked, "or the idea that someone knew you?" I swallowed. "The second one. That will fade," she said. "You won't." I sat on the floor and let that settle. A week passed. Then another. The night stretched. I learned how to cook for one. I learned where the creaks in the hallway were. I learned my own breathing again. Maya met me for coffee. "You're quieter," she said. I ran out of explanations. "Good," she smiled. "How does it feel not carrying someone else's guilt?" "Clean," I said. "Unfamiliar." "That's growth," Maya said. "It's boring at first." "I don't want boring." "You do," she said. "You just don't know it yet." She stirred her cup. "Emily tried calling you." "I know." "How?" "Blocked numbers still leave ghosts," I said. "She came by my place," Maya added. "She cried. Asked about you." "And?" "I told her you were healing." "Thank you." "Ryan's gone," Maya said gently. "Disappeared. New city. New mess." I felt nothing. That surprised me. "She waited too long," Maya continued. "Now she's alone with it." "I was alone with it first," I said. Maya nodded. "You didn't rush back." "I won't." That night my phone buzzed with an unknown number. I didn't answer. A message appeared. I deleted it without reading. My chest tightened, then relaxed. I talked to myself in the dark. "You did what you could," I said. Silence answered, but it wasn't cruel. Another morning came. I went for a walk. The air felt sharp and honest. I realized I hadn't checked my phone in hours. Jake texted. "Food tonight?" "Yeah," I replied. "Thanks." My mother sent a heart. Maya sent a photo of the sky. Emily sent nothing I could see. I understood then that the aftermath wasn't punishment. It was space. Space to hear myself. Space to grow without witnesses. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. I closed the door softly and stayed. The third week was the hardest. I called Jake instead of her. "You okay?" he asked. "I keep expecting pain," I said. "Like it forgot me." "It'll visit," he said. "Just not to live. I don't know what to do with the quiet. Fill it slowly." "How?" "Gym. Books. Bad movies," Jake said. "And stop checking doors you already closed." "I'm trying." "That's enough." Later my mother came by unannounced. "I brought soup," she said. "I'm not sick." "You're human," she replied. We ate together. She emailed me, my mother said carefully. I froze. "You didn't answer, right?" "No," she said. "I asked if you were safe. That's all." "Thank you." "She's drowning in regret," my mother said. "I'm learning to swim," I answered. She smiled softly. That night I dreamed without faces. Just movement. Just forward. Maya called near midnight. "I shouldn't," she said. "It's okay." She wants closure. I gave it to myself. That's what I told her. Good. You're different, Maya said again. Not hardened. Sharper. I stopped explaining myself. That's power, she said. The phone went quiet. I sat on the balcony and spoke once more into the air. I release you, I said. Nothing came back. That was the answer. Morning arrived without wait. I made plans. Small ones. Real ones. When my phone lit up again, I turned it face down and kept moving. I didn't respond. I didn't look back. I kept growing. And for the first time, the silence felt like mine alone at last. I woke up one morning without the weight of her voice in my head. No questions. No apologies. No lies. Just quiet. I sipped coffee slowly and watched the sunlight touch the floor. For the first time in months, it felt calm. Jake called mid-morning. Still alive? I think so, I said. You sound different, he said. I feel different, I admitted. Not angry. Not sad. Just, here. That's good, he said. You're not plotting or screaming? No, I said. I realized that peace is better than revenge. Wow, Jake laughed. Look at you. Enlightened. I don't need to prove anything, I said. Later, my mother texted. How are you really? I replied, better. Quiet is nice. She called after an hour. You sound steady. I'm learning to be, I said. You deserved better, she said. Maybe I did, I said. Or maybe I deserved this lesson. She was quiet. Pride, maybe? Self-respect, I said. I spent the afternoon walking through the city. Faces passed. Life went on. I realized I was no longer searching for her in the crowd. I wasn't looking for guilt or confession or regret. I only watched. Maya texted later. Emily asked if you'll see her again. I stared at the message. Then deleted it. No, I whispered aloud. I won't. I cooked my own dinner. Simple. I ate slowly, savoring control over my choices, not hers. Jake called again that evening. You're not brooding? No, I said. I learned something important. What's that? That peace is the revenge people forget exists, I said. It's quiet, steady, and doesn't require anyone else to fail. Deep, Jake said. Not deep, I said. True. I thought about her. Not with hatred. Not with anger. I thought about the moments I gave my love fully. The times I listened, cooked, waited, held space. The patience that became invisible. And I realized that my love was never wasted. I texted Maya. Tell her I'm okay. She'll understand. Maybe, I wrote. Or maybe not. That doesn't matter. I put my phone down. The sun had set. I opened a window. Cool air brushed my face. The city hummed softly below. And I felt light. I didn't win because she lost. I won because I left with my self-respect. I thought about Emily once more. The guilt she carried too late. The word she couldn't take back. And I smiled, not cruelly, not triumphantly, but softly, like someone who knows the world spins whether they scream at it or not. No speeches. No ultimatums. No exposure. Only me. Only quiet. Only forward. A week later, Jake came by. You're different, he said, watching me stretch on the balcony. I am, I said. I feel different inside. Light. Clear. Unbothered. That's good, he said, grinning. Finally. Finally, I echoed. And I knew, fully, that revenge isn't in breaking someone else. It's in walking away whole, undiminished. She taught me what betrayal feels like, but I taught myself how to walk away without becoming bitter.